Yo, let's get the business.
Yo, let's get the business. Yo, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Thank you for rocking with me. You know what's going down, a little sports talk. It's been a little minute because you know a man stays busy. I do multiple different things. You know what I mean? I'm involved in a lot. And I'm just creative. Sometimes I just spontaneously get creative, man. And plus, I'm just a busy man. So let's get the business. Check out all of my latest episodes of Let's Get the Business on this channel. Just go ahead and scroll. I'm on episode 27 coming up. My last episode, it was spectacular. It was classic. It was with YGBJ. Shout out to him. Crazy lyricist. Go and check all his music out, man. Go stream and download all that, man. Specifically download. And I had Dame DiBiase before that. Shout out to him. He got a lot of music popping, man. Go and check him out. Go ahead and download all those records, man. Apple Music, all that. Check both of them artists out. And I got more in store for you this weekend. But let's get the business. As the Mets and the Dodgers playing right now. They going hard at it, man. So I won't be able to update you on that game because it's actually going on right now. But let's get into this. A little baseball. It's baseball season. You know, it's getting down to the nitty gritty. It's postseason. That's where it all matters, man. And yo, we got the Yankees versus the Guardians. The Guardians are up. The Yankees are up 2-0. And they just knocked them off last night. Beat them 6-3. Aaron Judge hit a big home run. They gave him a 1-run lead, I believe. He had 3 RBIs last night. Yo, it just seems crazy, man, because when I see the Yankees, I just think of so much tradition. You know what I mean? I think of all the great teams that they had back in the great franchises with Joey Torre leading the pack and company. You know, back in the 90s, you know, the list goes on with Chuck Knobloch and then later on A-Rod, and man, so many great rosters and bullpens, and it's crazy to watch the Yankees. But they back here in the postseason. What stood out to me last night with game 3 rather, is Jazz Chisholm Jr. He made a few costly errors. You know what I mean? That's what stood out to me. Not to call him out like that, but that's was a vocal point of the game. And you know, I believe he was on third base. That was one play he came over to make a play and got into the shortstop's way basically and caused both of them to make an error. It was like a double error in one play. And yo, in a postseason clash, you know, in a war like this, you don't want to, in any game, you don't want to make a costly error like that. But you know, it was 6-3 W for the Yankees. You know what I mean? Garrett Cole, he got the start on the mound pitching. He started off with the breaking ball going crazy. He's got a mean breaking ball. I feel like he kind of faded away from his original focus of how he was placing the ball. It seemed like he kind of got away from the strike zone. He wasn't being very aggressive, and he was kind of missing the spots a little bit. And also the batters on the Guardians, they were being patient. They were making sure they were seeing the ball correctly and not chasing and whiffing and fishing at those bad pitches. But it wasn't like he was terrible. But Luke Weaver ended up coming out and closing up. Luke Weaver, he's been going crazy in the postseason. So yeah, that's the big showdown, the ALCS. Conference series. So Anthony Volpe, a shortstop to my understanding. The Guardians made some errors as well and played a major role in the loss. Even though they didn't lose by that much, you know, baseball, just like any other sport, is the game of inches. And, you know, like I said, I don't know what inning it was, but Aaron Judge hit a big home run. It barely made it out of the park, but you know, that was the deciding factor of the game. I feel like, as an overall, you know, that was the big play. Ramirez hit a solo shot home run to make it a little closer. You know what I mean? But yo, the big Yanks Can they make it to the World Series again? That's what we focused on for real, right? Because you know, when we think of the Yankees, we think of championships. I do. So let's see what happens, because a lot of these postseason situations, they haven't been coming out on top like they used to back in the days. So we'll see what happens, though. We got the Dodgers and the Mets, like I said, facing off in the NLCS. You know, my uncle played for both of these teams, both of these squads, which is what stands out to me and that's remarkable. And his name is Mark Bradley. Look him up. You know what I mean? He played along with Mookie Wilson, JC, Bob Baylor. I don't know how to pronounce the other guy's name, so we're not going to go into that. Yo, but the Dodgers and the Mets, I thought that was very unique that my uncle actually played for both of these teams. They beat the Yankees back in '81 when he played for the Mets. Dodgers or the Mets. Y'all going to have to look that up. But a lot going on in sports, man. Make sure y'all, for one, before y'all come in here, before y'all step into the building, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button. Yo, you got to do that. And go ahead and subscribe too if you haven't. You should already be subscribed. For sure, for Sugar Dig. And, you know, I'm going to put links in the bottom. I got the t-shirt company going on, the clothing company. Go ahead, put your order in. All you got to do is hit me on the email, joshbcashmere@gmail.com. Easy access, professional quality. I promise you. Cool t-shirts like this. You know, we do embroidery. We do the regular stuff. I can get the DTS for you. DTS print. Get your situation right. But yo, what about Pete Rose and Dikembe Mutombo passing away? God bless, man. Those are two legends. There's a lot to catch up on, man. You know how great Pete Rose was. You know, the situation with him going on with the gambling and all that, and they kicked him out of the Hall of Fame, and how people feel about that. You tap your comments in. Tell me how you feel about Pete Rose and not making it to the Hall of Fame. What about Dikembe Mutombo, man? One of the greatest defensive players to ever play the game in the NBA. Crazy shot blocker. Over 7 foot. Cool personality, man. There's a lot going on out here. The weather's crazy. We got hurricanes coming and flying through here and tearing everything up and flooding everything out. You know? And then we got temperatures going everywhere. Because where did this colder temperature come from? It was like warm last week. Now it's like in the 40s or something crazy. Everybody wearing jackets. You gonna put a Carhartts out of what? You know what I mean? It's crazy. And to my understanding, it's getting ready to warm back up. So tighten up. What about the Colorado Buffs, man? 3-point loss to Kansas State. It was a very, very exciting game. Kansas State is a tough team. They can run the football, and they did run the football and expose Colorado's defense a little bit because, you know, the gaps weren't fulfilling correctly. They were lacking outside containment, lacking inside pressure. Weren't exploding through the line like they had some sacks now. They had some sacks, but as far as stopping the run, that was an issue for Colorado Buffs defense. Will Shepard, yeah, he got some touches. Shador Sanders made sure he got the ball to these receivers, man. LaJohntay Webster, Amari Williams, of course, he got injured. And to my understanding, may be out for the season to undergo surgery. Shout out to that young man. I hope a fast recovery for you, man. He's a nice talent, man. He's a fantastic talent. And a young player that's got a lot of potential and a lot of spark and a good energy to the game. And of course, the big story, you know, with Travis Hunter getting hurt, getting injured. Hopefully he's straight and good to go against this upcoming game against Arizona. Also, the other receiver, Jimmy Horn Jr., he also got injured. Not sure specifically what that injury is, but hopefully he can bounce back quick, man. And that was a lot of talent to lose in a game like that. You know what I mean? All those guys going out at your skill positions and still being able to, have a really good chance of winning this game, because I'm going to tell you what, they made a nice drive down the field. Colorado did against Kansas State and scored. But I feel like there was just too much time left on the clock. And within a few plays, Kansas State bounced right back and took the lead. I think they went deep, coming right back at them where Travis Hunter would have been playing. Nothing against the other boy out there, but you know, they exposed that situation with Travis Hunter being out of the game and him usually being in that DB situation. Single coverage right there, you know, right over there by the numbers. And you know, that was a big difference. That was the turnaround point in the game. So now they're 4-2. What are the new expectations for Coach Brown and company? We'll see. They got Arizona coming up. They're a tough football team. They got a good quarterback. They got a very nice wide receiver, you know, that makes very big plays. You know, he's an outstanding talent, very athletic, fast. He's going to catch it, Mr. Snaggums. You know what I mean? So they better be ready. What's going on? The SEC's getting crazy. College football is crazy, period, right now. There was a bunch of upsets. Y'all seen all those. So, hey, make sure y'all get those picks right. Make sure you come correct and proper on FanDuel. You better be on point on DraftKings and all that. Get your parlays straight. Get your parlays right, man, because, yo, that was some lopsided victories in games going on. You know, Vandy knocked down Alabama, carrying the goalposts around town and everything, dumping it in the river. And what was funny is Vanderbilt, you know, they're such a sophisticated college. It was like they were doing it in order, coming out and rushing the field in order instead of like going nuts. Like they were like properly doing it. Like it was almost kind of preppy. So that was funny to me. But shout out to Vandy on that big win, man. It's been 30-some years since they beat Alabama and the #1 seed. So, yo, it's been going down in the world of football. It's been going crazy, man. Young Ronnie Williams played for Alabama. He's a nice talent. I love to watch him play, man. He's young. To my understanding, he's only 17, 18 years old. He headed to the league. He's going to be playing on Sundays. He out there making big-time plays. Ugh. Cooking them boys in the secondary. Making one-handed grabs and stopping and get off me. You know what I mean? Bouncing off would-be tacklers. So it's been fun to watch football, man. Texas A&M, they're good this year. I like the way they're looking with Emmitt Smith Jr. and company. LSU pulling off some close games. The LSU Tigers, they keep doing it. They keep doing it, man. It's like in the clutch moments, they just come up with a big play, man. They get it done. Find a way to win. Shout out to the Tigers. Tennessee, old Rocky Top, they battling every week. They got a young quarterback. Texas is looking good. They're #1. Oregon's ranked #2. Penn State's #3. Ohio State, they got a killer run game. They just lost to Oregon. Some guy spit in somebody's face and got kicked out of the game. Oregon, they ended up, so that was crazy. Ohio State ended up losing this game to Oregon, and I feel like Ohio State blew that game, man. I'm not going to shout out the offensive coordinator's name, but they had the ball at the 30. I believe it was about a minute or so to go. They had a chance to win, man. All they had to do was run the ball, call a timeout, you in field goal range, basically. You're already in that position. Kick a field goal and win the game. They kept throwing it. Next thing you know, the ball game was over. They threw it a few times. Oh, buddy came and slid with no time on the clock. But that was a battle. I love that. It felt like a rivalry game. Ohio State versus Oregon. Two big powerhouse schools, man, just going at it. It was fun to watch. Miami's looking good. Georgia's ranked #4, I believe. Miami. Then you got Alabama, LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, Tennessee, Notre Dame, BYU, Texas A&M, which they're playing lights out, like I mentioned. Boise State, and they got their kid Ashton Jeanty, that running back. You know who I'm talking about. I feel like he a beast out there. He in the running for the Heisman, to my understanding. Man, he looking like he's getting the business down there. He's getting busy out there, man. I don't know how many rushing yards he has, but he's getting paper out there. Dallas Cowboys, y'all stink. Right now, you stinking it up. Micah Parsons, when you gonna come back? DeMarcus Lawrence, we need you. What's going on, man? We need you out there. The Ravens looking good. They got a nice rushing game. Defense is looking all right too, but their rushing game, whew, bananas. It's almost unfair because you got Lamar Jackson, and of course you got old buddy out there running back. Derrick Henry, looking like a monster of all monsters out there. The Lions are looking good. Gibbs is running all over the place. The Cowboys are stinking it up, man. They got ran all over by the Ravens and the Lions. That's why I mentioned them. They stomped the mud hole in the Cowboys, man. And why did Zeke come back? Nothing against you, Zeke, but why'd you come back, man? You averaging like 7 to 8 carries for 15 yards. What's popping? You got to do better, man. I've never seen the Cowboys so worse. You couldn't do nothing on offense, defense, nothing. Jared Goff, he made y'all look dumb out there. Monson Brown made y'all look dumb out there. The Lions was cooking y'all, man. Shout out to Hutchinson, the league leader in sacks that went down with the gruesome injury. I hope he gets a healthy, nice, and speedy recovery. That was a crazy injury. I'm glad I didn't really get to see it too much, but it looked pretty painful and pretty gruesome. So shout out to him, man. Jerry Jones, you looking bad on your birthday. You got spanked. And Jerry just be having that look on his face every time we lose, man. Every time we lose, he just be looking he looks lost from a football's perspective. Let's keep it all, I'm not going to hold you. Let's keep it there. He looks terribly confused, like he doesn't know what to do with this team. And that's not a good thing. So, but hey, happy birthday, Jerry. And hopefully we can get this together. You know what I mean? Can't get the ball to CeeDee Lamb. We can't get the ball to anybody. Dak throwing interceptions. Hopefully he can fix that issue. It's looking bad. It's looking bad. The Eagles returned some starters. DeVonte Smith just came back, the former Heisman Trophy winner. He won the Heisman in college. Lamar giving me some fantasy points. I'll tell you that. Yo, the Vikings are at a stunning 5-0 with Jefferson and company. Shout out to the Vikings. We'll see where this goes. Shout out to BBN, Kentucky basketball. I'm so excited for the season to come, man. We just had Big Blue Madness. I love Mark Pope's energy. I love this team's energy. I feel like they're coming together early in a humble way. Rick Pitino, he was in the building. Ricky P, champion. You know what Ricky P means. You know what he brought this team up to. You know what Kentucky bounced back from the Eddie Sutton era. Rick Pitino got him back in the picture. Assembled one of the greatest teams of all time, college basketball-wise. Derek Anderson, Tony Delk, Antoine Walker, Walter McCarty, Mark Pope, Jeff Shepard, Jack Prickett, Anthony Epps, all them, Tony Delk. The list goes on, man. And Travis Ford and Jamal Mashburn before that. But shout out to Ricky P. He's one of my favorite coaches, if not my favorite coach of all time. It was good to see him in Rupp Arena. He had on blue. He was representing. He looked really happy and thrilled to be there. And a lot of St. John's and Louisville fans, to my understanding, didn't like that. They didn't like that. They felt some type of way about how happy he looked in there, but you can't blame him. He said he's never had a bad day at Kentucky when he was there his whole time. I watched the interview that he had with him and Matt Jones a few days ago, and he had mentioned how great Kentucky was, how different it was, and He explains why the place in Kentucky is just so special, man, and how he turned down Michigan to come back to the state. So I feel like he just came back to Louisville just to be closer in Kentucky. He has so many great moments and good friends here that he just had to come back. It was just cool to see him in there, man. Shout out to Ricky P. And he loves Mark Pope. He's bringing that NIL money. Let's get the business. Shout out to BBN. Shout out to Lamont Butler. I heard the little song he came out with. I ain't gonna say little song. I heard the song he came out with. He was rapping and doing his thing. It had all his players, all the new players behind him, chanting him on, you know, turning up with him. I like that, man. That was cool. It was a nice vibe. Big Blue Madness, and it used to be way bigger. I'm talking about my family. They used to camp out in there. They used to camp out for Big Blue. 1997, I remember. My mama and them was out there. They had the tent. They seen Ron Mercer walking down. You know what I mean? So shout out to the Big Blue Nation. We'll see what this season has to offer. And it's more than early. But I just wanted to point out that big Midnight Madness moment. And some of the new players just getting a taste and a feel of the new roster. You know what I mean? With Travis Perry and Kobe Brea, Lamont Butler, like I said, a few others. Chandler, what's his name? Colin Chandler. Who else? Brandon Garrison, Amari Williams. You know what I mean? Welcome, BBN. But yo, I got a lot of things to do, man. We're going to catch up more on this sports. Make sure y'all stay locked in, stay tapped in, and stay on point. Yo, let's get the business.
Yo, let's get the